All right. There she is. I was going to go wiki wiki, but I missed it. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. Okay. Mine was bad. Yours was good.
That reminded me of the beginning of Grease when they're in the ocean.
Love is a many splendid thing. Oh. Yes, I remember that part. Anyway, welcome to the Ugly Truth. We are back after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Here we are. 'Tis the season.
Feels like Thanksgiving is just come and gone.
It's gone.
Quickly.
It's just gone. No leftovers.
You know what? We didn't see each other on Thanksgiving, and we didn't even really talk about Thanksgiving.
No, we didn't. It was fine. Everything's fine.
It was just,
you know, it's been a weird holiday vibe for me. I asked the kids actually. I said, "Hey, I go, did you feel like it was off? Does it feel like the vibe is off this year, or is this an eternal thing I'm dealing with?"
No,
because I can never tell.
Yeah,
because I'm so self-centered that I'm like. Maybe this is me and everything else
Maybe
is
I'm just
great.
becoming self-aware.
Everybody's great and I'm the only one who's like, you know, I didn't know. And so Kenzie and I talked and one of our children has suffered a breakup. And so that person wasn't at our Thanksgiving this year.
Oh, the ex-significant other.
Yes. So they were.
Oh, yeah, that would make it weird.
So it was weird. And then my other daughter, her boyfriend, who, I mean, they've been together like a little over a year now. He's in the military and his job shift changed. So he's missed like literally everything. He's working every holiday. Like he might be getting deployed. Like, so there's just a lot going on.
A lot of chaos.
So it was a little bit of a smaller group, which it doesn't matter. All of my kids are here, so I was fine with it.
I would have been like, fine, good.
But it didn't feel nearly as party central,
harmonious, and all of the
it was a little off. But right before that, Daryl and I were going to Bodega Bay for the weekend with some friends. We had a really good time. The power went out, but you know what? It was still one of the best weekends I have ever had. It was really nice. I was like,
so great.
I'm like, we're gonna rent this house for our family. We're gonna invite everybody.
Wanting to do this forever.
You would love this house.
10, 15 years.
You would love it.
We used to rent a house in Bodega Bay often. We haven't done it in a long time, but it was so fun.
You know what I really liked about this house too is every room is so separate.
Yes.
Like you can't.
I swear to God, it's like they built these houses for vacation homes.
It's so beautiful.
They are perfect. The house that we had.
Everybody was like, we should buy a house and just share it. We're like, this house was $3 billion. We are not buying this house. No one's buying anything.
The shitty house that we rented was like 1.8 million.
You're not buying anything. You're looking at a view. You're looking at a literal $3 million view for a reason.
Stunning. And they're huge.
And even if the house is cheap, like we were all scouring Zillow, looking at houses in the region. And we're like, oh, this one's only $800,000. It needs some work, but it's got a gorgeous view. I'm like, yeah, because the HOA is like $2,500 a month. Like it's insane. Because there's a golf course.
They're on golf courses.
And a clubhouse.
And a restaurant and everything.
You're paying for all of it.
You literally don't have to leave your cul-de-sac. You can stay there and everything you need.
And it's lovely.
An ocean view. They all have spas.
There's a private beach.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, it was a great weekend. This is what was really funny is everybody was really paranoid that no one was going to carry their own weight because
like money wise?
No, food wise. Cause we're all parents and we all have done this with family and other friends.
Okay.
So literally there were four couples, I think. Every single one of us went to Costco and bought the same cheese, the same. We literally had wheels of cheese.
But that's amazing and necessary.
Wheels of brie,
especially
charcuterie,
Jamie,
chips.
I could have lived on that. We would not have had to have a regular meal the whole weekend. I will live on cheese and salami,
crab, lamb, steaks, oysters, caviar.
God. Yes,
we walked in the door.
Holy shnikey.
We were like the third couple to arrive. There was one other couple coming and we sat down and we went through, I mean, like it was nothing, 5 bottles of champagne. Like it was nothing.
Well, we did that at Kenzie's party.
It's like nothing. And so we sat down.
I think we went through 20.
Oh, easily went through 2 cases.
Yeah.
Yes. So when we all brought wine and
This is
and
what
champagne
happens, though,
and beer
when
and all
you get
that
older
shit.
and you get expensive taste.
Yes.
It tastes like it's
It's
so
amazing.
good.
And you don't get drunk like normal.
Not in a bad way.
So we're sitting there, and next thing I know, the ladies were all sitting down chatting, and the guys were doing whatever they're doing.
and nobody brought children, right?
No.
Amazing.
No, this is kidless, which
Okay,
is why
good.
it was so fun.
Right. Because I was imagining, I know some
No.
of your friends have little kids.
They do, but no. And so
Yay.
we're sitting there, and we're like, we all brought way too much wine. We brought way too much everything.
Never.
We're like, yeah, it's okay. We'll just take it home with us. It's no big deal. We went through literally everything.
Were you like,
hardly anything went
is there a
home.
liquor store in town?
Well, we didn't have to do that, but we did not
know where
take
it is,
home
by the way.
much. We took
Yeah.
home like a bottle of champagne because it was buried in the back of the fridge and we didn't
like,
know it was
"Woo!"
there. Yeah,
I'm
just
glad
did-
we brought what we brought.
Jeez, dude, we went through
would've ran
so
out.
much food, and we ended up taking home so much food on top of it.
I started watching.
It was insane.
I feel like when me and you watch each other's TikToks, and our algorithms are the same.
Yes,
but
for
lately
sure.
I've started watching people who own Airbnbs.
Okay.
And they go to the Airbnb after their guest checkout.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That's totally a thing.
Oh, my
They're
God.
like, the one girl's like, I haven't had to buy a case of water bottles in years.
They just leave it.
They leave them because they're usually traveling or they're going to fly or they're going to
like,
go
we
somewhere else.
can't-
And I can't, what am I going to do with this case of
Might as
water
well
that we
leave it.
bought? Yeah.
You know, we thought about doing that, but first of all, there were signs on every wall in this rental, like, please don't use this. Please make sure you replace that. And
Oh,
and
I
what was
see.
funny is when we walked in, there was
A lot
like
of rules.
there was like a basket of flashlights, and then over by this huge, gorgeous fireplace, there was a lantern, and there were signs everywhere. And we're like, what is this? Power went out.
Oh.
And it must go out regularly.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, this is what you do. There were emergency night lights that we all had to unplug because they were like so blinding.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we get it. This place loses power all the time.
Constantly. Well, it's like being on an island almost.
It is. And it was really high at the peak. So
Yeah.
the wind is just
It's right on the ocean.
next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a great weekend. So we were at Costco getting ready to go to this thing. And Daryl hasn't been feeling well. And you and I talked about this last show where he's been coughing and I want to rip his throat
Oh my
out.
God, that's right.
It's killing me.
Well, he traveled too, so I wonder if did he pick up a bug while he was
I don't know because
breathing all
he
that
was
air?
coughing before that. And so I'm like, well, I know he doesn't have cancer because we just had our blood work done. So I know it's not that, but it's killing me. And here's why I get so angry at him. It's not, yes, I hate coughing and sneezing all the time.
Yeah.
Because it drives, it's like,
But I mean-
it's like torture for my brain. Thanks a lot. Great.
And I didn't even get to cover my mouth because I sucked in air and I was like,
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Yes. As I was saying, is that he won't do anything about it. And I'm like, have you taken any medicine? He's like, well, I did nose spray. I'm like, okay, you have to do more than this. I go, you need to call the doctor. Like, what if you have an infection? What if there's a
Yeah.
Finally, like less than a week ago, he did a telehealth.
Oh my God, that was weeks ago when you were telling me about this.
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks ago. So we were in Costco and we're getting our cheese. And I turned to him and there was a weird, like I said, there's been this weird vibe. And I turned to him and I said, we're sick of each other, right? Like, I'm sick of you and you're sick of me, correct? And I know we're going away on this weekend, but we're sick of each other. I can feel it. We need to get...
Daryl's probably like, no.
He goes...
I'm not sick of you.
He goes, I'm not sick of you. And I go, oh. I go, well, I take it back. He goes, wait, you're sick of me? And I'm like...
now you can't get out of it because
And I'm like,
said it.
no, I just felt like that we were both kind of... He goes, well, I'm not in a very good mood, but I'm not sick of you. And I'm like, well, I'm sick of you.
Why do they have to take it so... God, it's like the worst thing you ever said to them.
I'm not trying to stab you in the heart.
No,
I'm saying like this just general... Yes.
I feel you. Like, I would know what
Yes.
you meant. I'd be like, all right, fine, whatever.
I'm like, we're going
and
to
even
have fun.
if I didn't feel the same way, I
be
would
like,
be
I get
so
it.
heartbroken that you said that.
It's
Like, you're sick of me?
Are you sending me away? Yeah. Do you want a divorce?
Stop!
No.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God, I'm
just
so loud today.
annoyed. So anyway, he goes,
I'm
well,
extra
I'm not.
loud.
Well, and then he gets holier than thou. Well, I'm not sick of you.
You're the bitch.
Apparently, you're sick of me, though. Because God forbid I exist and breathe. And I'm like, and cough. And wouldn't you know, when we're in, so when we're at Bodega Bear, whatever, barely coughing, barely any kind of
fine.
annoyance.
It's the ocean air, apparently. It was the cure.
Oh, no, it's definitely allergies. Our house must be contaminated with black mold. But we ended up having a great weekend. But I just I couldn't even with him. Like, I couldn't even. And I'm like, no,
people don't understand. Well, maybe you do. But when you get to that point and somebody, when they cough, it's like painful.
Stephanie,
it hurts.
It really did. And I feel like I'm going insane.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel like I'm going crazy. I'm like, I feel like I'm shuddering. I'm like literally like flinching when he coughs, you know? And
It wakes me.
I can't. And so I finally, and then it gets really bad. And the thing with Daryl is he's so aware of my,
oh my God, so is Jerry.
my discomfort.
And they can't escape fast enough because it's too late. It's coming. They're
At one point, I literally got up and I said, I'm going downstairs and sleeping. I can't even.
Don't follow me.
And he's like, no, it's me. I'll go down. I'm like, absolutely not. Stay here and cough. I'm going downstairs. I can't with you.
Yeah, because it'll just echo through the house anyway.
It's just awful. And so,
God, don't you hate it too, though, when they get all weird because they know they're going to cough and they're sitting next to you?
They're so paranoid.
And they're like, oh shit,
makes
here
it
it comes.
And it makes it even worse. And
now, you're sitting there and you're like,
I'm like, I am not an abusive person. Please stop acting like this. I'm not.
I don't even react sometimes.
I try not
purposely don't react.
Stephanie, I try so hard to act like no big deal. Do whatever you got to do. Just live your life. But inside, I'm screaming.
God, I'm so like,
just like,
poor Jerry.
Trying so hard.
That's when I actually do feel bad. It's rare that I feel bad for him, but that's usually when I'm like,
God, I don't feel
I've
bad.
turned him into this thing that he's just so
afraid.
Yes.
So anyway, finally, I went and did something, and I come home, and I don't know why he did this when I was gone. So I get home, and Daryl goes, so I had a telehealth appointment today, and I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, so yeah, I have a sinus infection. I'm getting a Z-Pack, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
God.
Well, I'm so glad after 2 months of hell, you've decided to
God.
finally.
Sinus infections are so miserable. I couldn't have lived that long.
He's like, well, my ears are ringing so bad. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to hear anymore because I've been dealing with your suffering.
Because you're practically septic at this point, and then you finally go to the doctor. And
I've been asking him to go for a long time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you probably waited until he was so infected.
He's like, I really should take advantage of the fact that she's not here judging me and call the doctor. I'm glad he did it. I'm so glad he did it, but I'm not his mom. I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
He's got to do it.
A lot of this is male stuff.
It's like guy stuff. Oh, yeah. It's guy stuff, 100%.
So Jerry takes medicine ongoing for his stomach because he's had ulcers in his life, and he's in order to maintain a healthy balance, he will always take them. So
sure.
But one of the things that fucking annoys the shit out of me is when you're taking medication and you're on something regimented, you know when you're getting down to like the last 2 or 3 or 5, even in my opinion.
Yes.
So why do you wait? So here we are, Saturday morning, and he's like, he's writhing on the couch in the morning, very early, and I'm like, what's the problem? He's like, I need to go get my stomach pills, but the pharmacy doesn't open until 10 today because it's Saturday. I'm like, okay.
How long have you been without them?
That was the first day, but he cannot not take them. He has to take them every day.
Every day.
And he wants sympathy from me because
like,
he feels so terrible.
No.
And I'm furious.
You could have done this 2 weeks ago.
I'm like, you fucking knew on Monday last week that you only had 5 pills left. And
you could have literally
perhaps I should fill them before I run out.
And it's, it's an endless rotation of refills. It's not like you have to do the whole thing.
They're ready.
Right.
Always, because I have them on the auto.
Exactly. Yes.
So he got no sympathy from me. And then he acts like I'm just the biggest bitch in the world.
Of course. He's like, don't you even care?
I'm suffering. I don't even know if I can drive to the pharmacy. I'm like, well, I'm not fucking driving you if that's what you're insinuating. It's Saturday. I don't have to work today. I'm not getting up to take you to the goddamn pharmacy.
Yes.
God, I was mad.
Marriage. Anyway, so so apparently I was only sick of everyone. But the problem is, I don't think, he's getting better, thank God. He's finally recovering. But the problem now is, so Christmas is here. The season 'tis the season. We had Thanksgiving. We always go the next day to get our tree. And we go up to this place. And I was telling you about this before the show, that they've just like skyrocketed in price. Yes. It's super crowded. I'm like, this isn't even fun anymore, but
because
whatever.
Everybody discovered it now.
Yeah. And so I'm like, we got to find another place. Now, as I was telling you, the discussion of getting a permit for $10 and going to the forest in the El Dorado Hills or Tahoe area.
Yeah. You guys can't see this, but I'm literally rolling my eyes at my sister right now.
You can cut your own tree.
She thinks she's going to cut her own tree.
I'm not cutting it.
But she's not even going to, no.
So you're all, are you going to hike into the forest?
Yes. Are you going to hike into the forest in the freezing cold where there's no path? You just have to walk out there.
With animals.
And somebody's going to have to get a saw.
And then drag it out.
And then you're going to stand there and while they do it.
Yes.
No. No.
I did tell Daryl, I said, it sounds really fun, except
Jamie will
for
be
this.
like, do they have tree people who like go out and get it? And I could pay an extra $10?
Here's the thing. I have watched Daryl cut down a tree before.
Yeah.
At this place.
I'm pretty sure I remember you guys
going. I filmed it. It's not easy. But here's the other thing. These tree places that are where they grow noble firs or whatever they grow, they have grown them so they're really easy to cut. Like the trunks are very
soft trunks.
Well, no, it's just that they're really thin. They're small, Whereas if you go into a forest, and you want an 8 or 9 foot tree, the likelihood is that the trunk is going to be significant.
Well,
it's not going to be a tiny little tree trunk. It's going to be a fat, big
a natural tree. Well,
right.
So the trees that you're talking about, they're grown. They're tree farms.
Well, they
Christmas
regrow
tree
them,
farms,
and
yes,
they regrow them over and over again, and so the trunks tend to be sprouty because whatever.
They haven't been there for 30 years, or 10 even.
So, well, a 8 or 9 foot tree in the forest. I mean, how long is that? I don't even know.
Years, but I don't know.
Their trunks are fat, probably.
The fat trees, I mean, they've been there. I mean,
so anyway,
how when you've grown something in your garden and in your yard, like have you ever grown a tree?
No. Well, I mean, not. I've never seen anything for 9 years.
A lemon tree or a lime tree. Oh no, they were already
there. I know,
there.
but they're only a couple. Yeah, no, they were already there. But anyway, my point is, I'm like, that would be my only thing. That the challenge would be that they would be pretty established trees and they'd be really, really heavy. And here's the other thing: spiders.
That's real.
Creatures.
Spiders live in trees, specifically black widows. I've heard they love those furs. What do you call them?
Noble firs,
whatever.
Silvertip, whatever.
Trees.
Pine trees.
They like pine trees because they attract bugs.
Yes. So I'm not really sure about all of that. I read a horror story, actually. This woman bought a tree from a tree farm, and there was an egg sac of praying mantis.
Well,
and it hatched in the warm.
I'd die.
Because it was warm.
Yeah.
So she had hundreds of baby praying mantises in her tree.
Yeah, I told you this happened.
I would rip that thing out so quick.
That happened to Jerry when in his prior life when he was married. He went up to the hill, Apple Hill, and they bought a real tree. I don't know if they cut it down or what the deal was, but it was fresh, and they brought it home. They put it up, and they didn't decorate it because it was late and tired and all that stuff. So the next day when they woke up and they came out,
oh my God,
the walls were covered in black widows.
Oh my God!
They had come out of the tree. They're like, "Holy shit, we're in a house,"
and it's warm,
and started to walk around, and so they were on their white walls.
I'm freaking out,
and he did freak out.
I would scream.
He drug it outside, and because he's like, "Holy shit," like who knows what else is in there. Sprayed it with Raid. The whole tree was ruined.
Oh no, I'd throw it away.
And then he had to kill and find all of the spiders that had accumulated everywhere in the house.
So that in itself makes me not want to do it.
I'd die.
I don't want to do it.
I would literally die.
No. So anyway, we did that. We bring it home. We put it up. Everything's fine. And I simply am not in the mood this year. And I don't know why. I'm not in the mood.
Honestly, Jamie, it's so much work.
It is a lot of work. And, I'm not one of those moms or people that has to make the magic for the family.
Oh, really?
Well, not really.
Because your house is always so beautiful.
I'm kind of late in life as far as holidays go because we did not celebrate holidays as children. So now that I'm an adult, I've been, obviously we've been celebrating holidays for a very long time.
Yeah.
And traditions and all that. We have all of that. And it's great. Except now that it's just Daryl and I, it feels like, why am I doing all of this? It's like, I do love getting a tree.
Yeah,
I
sure.
love the tree. I love decorating the tree.
Gorgeous. It's beautiful.
I change the color every year. I don't go crazy like those Pinterest trees, but I will buy like a new set of ornaments and change up the color. I have these really cool ornaments that I put on, and then I add like accoutrement, and I change the color.
Yeah, you do
a little bit.
And just for those of you who are listening, I mean, she's making it sound very subtle, but it's not. Jamie's tree is huge.
It's very big,
and it's very beautifully decorated.
I like it. I mean, it's definitely not a Pinterest tree. I mean, it's got all of our little.
I don't know what a Pinterest tree is.
Well, because it goes. They're like so you can barely tell a tree is there. They put so much on the tree.
Okay.
Like we don't do that.
Yeah,
you know, we have our ornaments that we love, and then we have our,
But it looks it's cohesive. It's a theme. It's the same. It's color. Right. You know, the colors all match, and it's so pretty.
Anyway, so
the lights are pretty.
Daryl drags everything out, and I just am staring at it, going, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. And so it was that day, or the day after, or something. He goes, "Well, you want to decorate the tree tonight?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, "No, not really." He's like, "Why not?" I go, "I don't want to do any of it."
He's like, not into it.
He's like, "Why?" I go, "Because it's a lot of fucking work." Yeah. And I'm like, and the thing is that I realized this about a year or so ago. Our daughter moved out this year, but last year we all went and get the tree, and they love picking out the tree and doing the whole. Yeah. And so Daryl and I put the tree up, and we're like, "Oh, it's so pretty." And I'm like, and then I decorate it. Yeah. All by myself.
For hours.
I go, and I'm the one that buys all the presents, and I'm the one that makes all the food. Yeah. And I kind of don't want to do it by me. What's the point of me doing it by myself?
I feel you.
I'm like, my kid is sitting there on her phone. Well, I remember vividly this. Both of my daughters were sitting on their phones watching me decorate the tree. Yeah. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, hey, so they... And they would hang a thing. And I'm like, what is the point of this?
Like, I do this for you guys. I don't just do it for me.
It's only a family thing, I thought.
Agreed.
So I'm just like, you know what? And I have said this for a very long time, and no one believes me. And I'm like, I guess I have to scream it to make you guys see that I'm serious.
My son literally just said this to me the other day. God, why do you always have to yell and be so mean? I'm like, I asked you 30 times in my sweetest, nicest mommy voice. And it was only when I was like, get in there now!
They're like, God, jeez.
And he's like, God, why are you so mean?
I have been saying for years, Stephanie.
Damn it.
For years, I've been saying that I want to go to New York for Thanksgiving.
I would love that.
I just want to go.
I've said I wanted to either Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of the two, because they're both big holidays, and they both require shit tons of work, whether it's cooking or all the other shit you just mentioned, to some big, huge city and just be in a fucking badass hotel and not have to do a goddamn thing.
I said, I have
go
this
shopping.
I said, there are a couple of restaurants in New York that do a Thanksgiving dinner.
But it's fantastic.
And it's not just turkey. It's like, it's a high, like a price fixed menu, super high end, gorgeous.
So fun.
Beautiful evening, beautiful views.
Everything.
And I'm like, then you wake up the next day and you go Christmas shopping, and then you fly home. And the only bad thing is the travel, because everybody is traveling.
Well, when did travel get so not fun?
9/11.
God. Yeah. It used to be so fun to travel.
It's not like that anymore. So now, it's like
I want to do the train. I know people are like, no, the train's not what you think it is.
We want to do the train too.
But I would actually really love to do the train.
Absolutely,
like
fun.
Long trip. My friend took it from here to Chicago, and he was like, it was so freaking fantastic. He got a sleeper car, the whole bit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that you really have to pay for what you want. You can't just go.
Jamie, I have spent $2,500 on a weekend in San Francisco. I could do that on a train.
Yes, we've talked about taking the train down to Paso Robles.
Yeah,
because it's the worst drive ever.
It is the worst drive, and I've actually done it. That's the one train ride I did take was the Coastal Starlight. It's the Amtrak, but I was poor.
You just buy the fancy cart, and you just take
it's
the
10
ride.
hours. It's fun.
Yeah, and you just chill.
I want to go longer. I want to do like a long train thing.
Oh, like across the country?
Yeah, like far. Like, I think it would be so fun. Chicago would be great. I've always wanted to go there. The food is fantastic. Or Seattle.
Chicago would be great. Yeah. But yeah, I said, I've always wanted to do that. I said, I have always wanted to spend Christmas in Hawaii. I think that'd be so fun.
Same.
And Daryl's like with the family. And I'm like, I mean, they can come.
If they want
to. But I mean, the reality is that I don't want to wait till I'm Golden Bachelorette age.
Yeah, so we can fly. I want to do it now. Debate. Yeah.
Like, absolutely. I want to. And so I said, I have been saying this for years, and everybody goes, whatever. We'll just come to your house while you're gone, then I guess.
Okay, then do that.
And I'm like, Okay.
Well, wait a minute. What was the, you guys have been renting houses in Hawaii now for a while.
We haven't in a minute, but yes, we did.
Well, maybe not real recently,
No,
but
pre-pandemic we did, but now
yeah, I guess that's true, huh?
Yeah, we haven't.
I guess it seems like
It feels like time just blows by.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I've had a tendency to rent houses more than hotels when I can, depending on where I'm going.
It depends on what you want to do.
What I want to do and where I'm going. But I know that for me, it's just easier to rent a house.
Well, you guys have a certain way you like to do things.
I do. Well,
so a house is nice.
I still have a little.
Yes.
And I have dogs. So I don't, it's not always easy for me.
Hotels are hard.
They can be.
Yeah.
And I've taken the dogs to hotels, but it's just easier at a house because they can go in the freaking backyard. I don't have to get up at 5 a.m. and walk, go 12 flights down a elevator.
Awful.
I've done it.
I know.
Many times. So anyway, yeah, I think that for Hawaii, you could absolutely still have an amazing Christmas that is somewhat traditional.
It'd be great.
It'd be so
I've always wanted to do it. The thing is that I totally get traditions. I love having traditions as well. But I find now, it feels like a job. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to feel
nostalgic.
And maybe this is just the way it is now that I've been celebrating holidays for some time. And I'm like, this is the grueling part of it.
Yep.
But I'm just like, I'm ready to change it up. Like Daryl's like, oh, are we going to still go to Napa for Christmas Eve? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Honestly, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Same thing. He goes, well, what do you mean? I go, I don't want to go to that restaurant again. I want to go somewhere else. I want to do something different.
Yeah.
Can we please? And he's like, well, I guess. I'm like, okay, see, that's the problem is that there are people who love the nostalgia. We did this thing once 100 years ago and it was amazing. And and he's not alone. A lot of people just want to relive that magic over and over again.
They do.
And I totally get it. I am not that person.
I don't get it.
I'm just not that person.
Well, so here's the thing.
I don't want to see the same artist 7 times. Guess who's in town? I'm like, I don't care. I've seen them. How many times do I have to see them before I'm done? Like, can we just be done?
We've talked about this.
And I'm not talking about anything specifically.
No.
I
know what you mean. You and I have talked about this off air when we're talking about my life or your life or whatever, about my husband's attachment to inanimate objects.
Oh, yeah.
And how he has an unhealthy way of holding on to things.
Because there's emotional attachment to it.
And it's literally the exact same thing. So for him, it's like getting rid of our boat or our sports car or whatever the thing is getting rid of, in his mind, memories. The ability to have that thing that was so fun, that was so amazing that we did. Yeah. And I'm like, it's still there for me, but you know what? We
don't need the tangible object.
Thank you. We went to the San Francisco Bay in our boat, which a lot of people don't ever get to experience in their life, for 20 years. Yeah. And it was amazing. And we had so many memories and so much fun and things that I will probably never get to do again. But I don't need to keep doing it now.
We can let it go.
I'm done
and do new things.
And by the way, it was just like you're talking about. Yes, it was fun, but it was so much fucking work. Jerry got to sit there and play Captain Hook and drive.
And you're
but
cleaning.
Who loaded the goddamn thing with food for a week and cleaned the whole thing and all the sheets and the bedding and all that stuff that goes with it.
Yeah, which is fun, but at some point you're like, can we do something different?
I was just over it.
And here's the thing, like I was telling Daryl, I'm like, I really do love Thanksgiving. I love it. Same. I love having everyone come over. I fantasize about having 20 people at my house. I love that idea. I go, but just one time I would love to do this one thing. Yeah. I would love to do this. And maybe I'll be like sad that I did it and be like, oh, I'm glad I did it. But I mean, I miss my family.
Regret it, but I feel
you know what I mean? I'd be like, but it's something that I really want to do. Like, let's go to Toronto. Let's go to some big, like you said, some big city. And let's do this
completely different.
And then we'll wake up the next morning. We'll do some Christmas shopping, and then we'll go home.
Yes,
it'll be so fun.
It was so fun.
Just once.
I'd love that. Oh my god.
And
it's too bad that we could not ever get away with doing that, just like me and you. Because
I know, right?
How could we?
We couldn't. But oh my god, Daryl would probably slit his throat.
Are you kidding me?
He would die.
My son would be like, "Wait, you're going?"
He's like, "Wait, what? What do you mean? It's a holiday. It's going to leave us behind?"
Yeah, no.
Be like, well, I just thought I might. Please don't do that. I mean, literally, we could never.
No.
Never.
And honestly,
it's fine. It
is fine.
But the thing is like,
I hear you.
Yours is little, but mine are very anti-establishment. So like none of them are kids, none of them are parents.
Right.
None of them are married.
You don't have a bunch of little grandchildren. No. They're all coming over and being excited. Yeah.
They're modern day Poor people. They're struggling, and I get it. It's hard.
No, it is.
So they're not I was way older than I should have been before I owned a home. We're on the cusp of barely being
well, not for California, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, seriously, I get it.
I feel you.
But I'm not, so nothing's really tying me to tradition.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just an asshole.
No, Jamie.
I could be.
No. I think
it could be that. Someone's going, well, yeah, you are kind of an asshole. You don't want to be around your family?
No,
I love my family, but I just am thinking, can we just change it up once?
You know how much everybody who knows me, who's close to me, knows how obsessed I am with my son.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had him at a late age, and I just love him so bad that I can't even explain it.
I know.
And so, but I still reflect and wonder, because when I had my son, my daughter was 20. And I was 36, and I was like, my God, I'm 36 years old, and I'm free. I'm free. And like, I didn't have to raise a kid anymore. And I was super young. And
I can live like a crazy ass life.
So excited to do that and do all the things that I had not gotten to do in my really young years because I had a baby. And then I have my son.
Ding dong.
Yes. So now I'm like, okay, now I'm at the actual age where most people are, you know.
And you're not there yet.
And their kids are in high school or going to college. And I'm like, well, you know, my son's in 6th grade.
Got some time.
So
that's not as unusual anymore, actually. There's a lot of women who are moms at an older age now. Yeah. And dads too, but.
And at least once or twice a month, as he's going off to school, just miserable and sad, I get the, I hate you.
I hate you too.
I do. I say, I hate you too.
And they're like, son, you do?
No, he doesn't. He's a reflector. So he'll come home from school and be like, he acts like he's not the one that said it first.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah. And so it'll be like, well, I don't know why you want to talk to me. You hate me. You know, things like that.
Oh, I love prepubescent. Bro, puberty's so fun.
And I'm like, wait, excuse me? Because you said it to me first. And most of the time, I don't say it back. Most of the time, I'd be like, love you.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
You're silly.
Be amazing today.
But if he's extra hard, you're just like,
well, I mean, generally speaking, it's like 7 a.m. and I'm not too fucking thrilled that I'm walking out the door to go to work. And I have this little asshole telling me that, who I got up an hour early just so I could make your goddamn lunch.
You're so nice. Most people are like, here's $1.50, make it work.
Well, school lunch is free now.
It is?
Jamie, yes, it has been for years.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's been free for a very long
then
time.
Go get your free lunch.
Yeah, I could do that. I absolutely could do that. And
if he got next level, that's exactly what I would have said.
Well, it's not too late.
Anyway, so we're running out of time. So really quick, we'll talk about this other thing next week. But I did want to say, so the other night, Daryl and I and Tyler, we were watching a show. And it was, I don't even remember how it came up. Something death. I don't remember.
Oh, God.
And so I came up with a new term. So I had to share it with you. So I said, hey, by the way, we had some wine. So I was feeling loose. I said, hey, by the way, I had an epiphany today and I need to share it with you, Tyler. And he's like, okay. And I said, so when I die, I want to be cremated.
There we go.
I want to be cremated. I've said it.
Yeah,
I've been very clear. I don't want there to be a big fuss. I don't want to pollute any land. I just want to be cremated.
Yeah. Plus, it's so expensive unnecessarily.
Yeah, just do it. Just do the cremation and be done with it.
I'm dead. I don't care.
Exactly. You know, do whatever you got to do, but no cemetery. I just don't really want that. And so
I prefer not. Unless one of my kids was like, I will be so devastated to burn my mom if I can't live with it. Then I'll be like, fine, do what you know.
Cremation. And everybody knows I'm not adjusting on that. I mean, obviously I won't have anything to say about it. I'll be dead. But my hope is that they would follow through.
Honor you, yes.
I said, however, I also understand that you will all take a little bit of the mom sand.
Okay.
That's what I've called it now. It's mom sand. By the way,
that's cute.
That's my new term.
I'll call it ugly sand if I'm still alive.
Fine. So I said, so everybody will take mom sand or ugly sand, and you'll have it. Yeah. I said, but when you are on the brink of death, when you know you're not going to live much longer, maybe you've got a year or so to go, and you're like, you know what, I'm getting up in age or whatever. I want you to disperse the mom sand before you die.
Yeah.
I said, so I want you to vineyard. beach, whatever you feel, whatever you deem necessary, I want you to discard the mom sand. And I will tell you why. I have seen far too many TikToks of people finding ashes at the Goodwill.
Same.
I don't want to end up at the Goodwill.
Or in an attic somewhere. Like,
Please.
we just bought this house and there was an urn up there.
Don't do it to me.
We don't know who it is.
I don't want that. I'm like, just disperse of the sand, the grains, get it out of your life.
So no one else.
Please.
Yeah.
Return me to earth.
Because
I don't want to end up in a box, a dusty box on a shelf at a filth Goodwill.
Well,
going,
here's the thing.
Some influencer going, oh, I just love this box. I'm going to repurpose it. Oh my God, what is this?
So now we're going to research and see who this person
This
is.
poor person.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
please don't.
Well, and you're like you pointed out earlier.
I don't want to go viral.
Your kids don't have kids.
No.
So even if, well, okay, I suppose if somebody had one now, that child would have long enough to love you. But if they don't, then by the time you know, then it's like, well, they're not going to love me so much that they want to keep the mom sand or dirt or whatever. You know what I mean?
Not.
It dies it dies with our children.
No grandchild wants mom sand or grandma sand.
Grandma sand.
Nobody
yeah,
wants that
so.
shit. So anyway, I'm like, and so Tyler's like, fine. I said, Tyler, promise me.
He's the oldest.
Yeah, I know. And I said, and here's the thing. We've had deep discussions before. And I'm like, you know, you and me ain't that far apart, fool.
I know, right?
I said, so don't you forget. I go, when I go, you don't have much longer to go. So you disperse me
15,
quickly.
20 years, buddy.
Max.
And that's what we're talking about.
I said, so you disperse me like fairly quickly after
you know I mean, my daughter doesn't have children either.
I know.
I mean, Tyler and Lauren are literally the exact same age.
I know.
I mean, God, crazy.
I know.
It's like, I thought for sure. People said that to me too. Oh, you're going to be a grandmother young and everything. I'm like, yeah, I probably will be. Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Now look at us. Dun, 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 dun.
Our kids are 31.
Crazy.
Right?
Yeah. We were barely coherent when we had our children.
We barely had pubic hair, so.
God. Anyway, all right. Well, that's the show. So we only have a few more shows before the year is ending.
New Year, ding.
We will be taking a holiday break, and we will be back. I mean, we still have some shows to go, but we will be taking the break of the holiday season to enjoy the last few weeks of this shit show of a year.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't too terrible, but okay.
Oh, did you enjoy your year?
I mean, I didn't enjoy. I never say that.
Oh, okay.
I'm
well,
not like, I enjoyed my year. Until I'm retired, I will probably never say that.
I will say this. I am curious. I'm going to do a little research and recap all the stuff that happened this year that we have forgotten about.
Yeah.
I'll be curious, not privately, you and I private things that have happened, but things in general, like we can talk about it for just a moment, but that submarine imploded this year.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Like, and now it's gone, like no one talks about it.
Yeah, and it was like all we talked about there for like,
a minute. It was like they're still alive. I'm like, they're not. They're dead.
My logical side said they were dead.
They were.
But then when they said that something they heard banging,
no, they didn't.
I was like, holy shit.
The military knew when that thing popped.
They knew. They lied to us.
They barely made it halfway, and they were like, pop.
I know.
They're done.
They heard the sonar boom.
It was like an air blister on the air wrap, the bubble wrap. It was like a bubble wrap.
Well,
pop. They were done.
The thing about the government is they like, all right, we know we heard it.
We'll pretend, sure.
But we have to, in order to like satisfy the public and the families and all that shit, it gives us time to prepare.
Sure. Even though they all knew.
No, they knew. Yeah. Well, especially after I was like, wait a minute. If that thing imploded the way they said, they absolutely
They didn't even know it happened. It happened so fast.
Well, thank God for that.
It was a blessing.
If I had to die, I
not
don't want to be like
it was coming would be the best thing ever.
Of course, my husband has to relish in every possible moment. He's like, they heard the creaking. And
no, they didn't.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, that thing was creaking. And I'm like, okay, but anything that you go down in, they creak.
Stephanie,
even if it's the most sound vessel, it's going to make noise.
The only way that I would ever get in anything like that in my life that wasn't military grade would be because my child was down there.
Exactly.
And I was going down to retrieve them. It's the only way.
Well,
nothing else would convince me. Even there's not one human being.
Nuclear war above ground, and there was no breathable air, and you would incinerate if you were up there.
I would be like, which is faster? And that's the way I'm going.
Well, I've always imagined, like, I don't know, nuclear war scares the shit out of me for some reason.
Ain't gonna happen, but
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it's gonna happen either, but just the thought of it.
Everyone's terrified of that because they're like, well, we're fucking around with nuclear people. And I'm like, no one's going to do it because no one wants to fry.
Yeah, none of us do.
No one survives.
No.
What are we gonna do?
Right? We're just going to kill ourselves and
everyone's going to die and we're just going to be like Pluto for the rest of our lives.
Right. We're like,
please.
See, Russia, we got you.
As we all fry. Yeah. And the planet turns red.
Thank you.
Or green or whatever.
Yeah,
anyway, all right.
So, but last thing on the submarine.
Yes,
I did find it funny that somebody, I can't remember which comedian said it, but she's like, do you notice that there was no women on board? I'm like, yeah, because we're not that fucking stupid.
Because we're like, go ahead, have your fun.
Like, hell no.
I'd be like, yeah, sure. All right, bye.
And they're not even going up. There's no women going up on Elon Musk's thing.
Oh, God.
None of them. It's all men.
No.
In fact, Ashton Kutcher would have gone up there and Mila was like, I don't fucking think so, you idiot. You have children.
Go ahead. Your career's ruined anyway. You go on ahead.
True that.
Have a great time.
Anyway.
Enjoy. All right, everybody. Well, we'll be back next week with a new episode. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.